Hey, how's it going, guys? It's time to do the big trailer breakdown for Zeku. This is going to be a really tough one to do because Zeku's move list is so huge. The move list is now revealed to us. He definitely has the most moves in Street Fighter V, if not the entire franchise, because he basically has two stances like Gen. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to break down the old version of Zeku first, so that's like the first half of the trailer. Also, which is really great news, is WSO is going to hold a session today. By the time you guys see this video, they're probably going to go over everything already with Zeku. So what I'm going to do is, I want to get this out because I've already been working on it for a day, but what I'll do is when I go over young Zeku, I will use the combination of the WSO footage and the trailer footage, and then I'll keep updating you guys. It may take me a while, we'll be going video per day kind of thing, but at the very least I'll make sure that eventually you guys get all the information that we know about Zeku up to the point of his release. So give it my best shot. I'll try to write annotations on the screen and stuff and show you everything that's going on, but let's just start with the trailer for now. Let's start this off by saying that Zeku has 1000 health and 1000 stun. It doesn't matter what form he's in, he'll always have 1000 health, which is quite surprising considering the depth of this character will probably have with this kind of move list. Okay, so the trailer starts off with Zeku dodging Ibuki's kunai, and he goes core circle forward punch, and then he lands with punch and crosses her up, and then he goes standing medium kick into standing medium punch, and then he goes core circle back kick, juggles her up, and then he finishes with core circle forward kick. So let me go through each part of this. So the beginning, when he does that command jump, the flip, that is done by doing core circle forward punch. It's basically a command jump, just like Guy. This acts kind of like a demon flip, if you guys are unfamiliar with Guy, where Zeku has multiple follow-up commands that he can do afterwards. He can press punch and do a cross-up, he can press kick and it'll hit in front, and he can also grab you. The strength of the command jump probably determines the distance that he goes, so he can go shallow, far, or medium range. What we see here is the punch follow-up. So this is obviously ideal for a cross-up. I'm also going to assume that no matter what, he does hit to the opposite side, similar to like Fang's jumping hard kick, for example. So you want to always aim for a cross-up on this, and obviously the reward is very good if you land it. He also has a kick and throw follow-up, like I just said. Standing medium kick, he links afterwards, so he's obviously very plus off after the cross-up. And then he goes into standing medium punch, links, so you can link mediums into mediums, which is good news, is something I'm a fan of. And then old Zeku now has 3 different types of kicks, those shadow kicks we talked about before. These are called Bushin Gram, okay? And they're basically 3 different kick specials, and they have 3 different commands and strengths, okay? So it's not just one kick move that changes the angle per button, it's actually 3 different moves, and I'll show you guys the move list on the screen. So the first one you see in this trailer is the core circle back kick one, Gram Teki. And he could juggle into this, into core circle forward kick, the Gram Koku. So the reason I could tell which one is the core circle back kick and which one is the core circle forward is because there's actually 2 screenshots of this that explain the move list on the Japanese site and shows the actual moves, and I know which way he's spinning around, because one he spins clockwise, the other one he spins counterclockwise. So core circle back kick is used more for combos. Basically you use it to juggle your opponent further to get more damage. And core circle forward kick is where he uses it for pokes because the range is huge and it goes straight, and you can use it for combo finishers like we see in this. Alright, the next segment of the trailer is very simple. Zeku just does a throw. And we're going to assume it's a back throw because he switches positions with the opponent. Okay, the third segment, we see Zeku start off with a crouching light kick, and then he goes into forward hard punch. So this is not a target combo, he's simply just doing a block string into the overhead. And forward hard punch is clearly an overhead, as we can see, because he's hitting the opponent low and the opponent's blocking low, and his overhead hits twice. We know this is his forward hard punch because in the move list he only has 1 command normal. Okay, in the fourth segment now we see Zeku do a core circle forward kick, and that's it. Once again, this is his Bushin Gram Koku, where he used to finish his combos with, but you could also use it as a poke because of its long range. And since we see in this clip that the startup is really long, and the range is much longer than when he finished in the first combo, we can assume this is either his medium or hard strength of his kick. I'm not quite sure, because maybe the medium is super long range but it doesn't knock down the opponent like it does in this footage, and maybe the hard strength does knock down the opponent. The hitbox is huge too, since we see Ibuki actually do her slide, which normally goes underneath fireballs, and it still hits her, so quite a big hitbox. Alright, in segment 5 we see Zeku start off with a standing medium punch, and then he cancels that into his command jump, with core circle forward light punch, and then he does the throw follow-up this time. So this is basically a tick throw setup, very similar to like a demon flip setup basically, where you're forcing your opponent to stand by attacking him, and then you throw them, and that should be unblockable, of course. It most likely whiffs on crouching opponents, just like the demon flip would, and it switches sides to after you grab your opponent. And Zeku is most likely doing the light punch version of his command jump, simply because he jumps so shallow, a lot more shallow than we saw at the beginning of the trailer. Okay, so next up we see Zeku start with a crouching hard kick. He sweeps the opponent, and then he goes for a core circle forward 2 punches, so the EX command jump with the kick follow-up, and then he links into a standing hard punch, and then he cancels that into his core circle back kick, his gram, and then he finishes with the DP version of his gram with 2 kicks. So we see the EX version of the command jump most likely tracks the opponent this time to wherever he's standing, and then we get to see the kick follow-up this time. This is the 3rd follow-up to his command jump. It looks very similar to Nash's moonsault, for example, and it hits the opponent in front. I highly doubt that it's an overhead, just because all these attacks don't seem to be overheads in this game. The EX version allows a follow-up combo. We don't know if the normal version of the kick follow-up does, and we can assume that if he can, it would only be linking into light attacks, for example, but the EX version definitely allows you to link something hard like a standing hard punch. And then he does a standing hard punch, like I said, into core circle back kick to juggle up the opponent. And we now see, like I said, the 3rd version of the Bushin gram, and this is done by doing a DP motion and a kick. So like I said, 3 grams, one's core circle back, one's core circle forward, and the DP motion one. So this DP motion gram looks very similar to Ed's uppercut, for example, Ed's 2 kick command, and we only see the EX version in this trailer, so I'm not sure the range or speed of the normal kick version. I wouldn't be surprised if this is an anti-air, at least the EX version, and I also wouldn't be surprised if this is Zeku's reversal, the EX version at least. Moving on, we see Zeku do a standing hard kick crush counter, and then he kind of walks a little bit forward, a little micro step, into a standing medium punch, into core circle back 2 kicks, so the EX version of his gram, and then he ends with core circle forward kick. So standing hard kick, obviously a crush counter. It puts your opponent into a spin state, and since he walks forward slightly in this footage to land that standing medium punch, after you probably don't have enough time to dash and combo afterwards. I'm only assuming this. And we also get to see the EX version of the core circle back kick, and we can see it does 2 hits. And then he ends the juggle, as usual, with core circle forward kick, the other gram. And then we see Zeku do his V reversal, nothing crazy. His V reversal is done by forward and 3 punches at the same time, and then it's a knockdown type V reversal. Alright, so the next segment is when we first get to see his V trigger. I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. His V trigger is a little weird to explain. Alright, so first he activates the V trigger, and then he presses hard punch and hard kick at the same time. And then he goes standing light punch, light kick, medium punch, medium kick, hard kick, and then he cancels that into hard punch and hard kick at the same time again. So let me start off by saying that Zeku has a 2-bar V trigger. This is confirmed, and also so this is how this V trigger works. So Zeku's V trigger allows him to gain a teleport dash. Okay, so it's a dash where it's kind of like Bison's dash, right? And this is done by pressing hard punch and hard kick after the activation, so pressing V trigger again. Okay, so you are also able to chain Zeku's attacks, his normal attacks, in ascending order, so from light strength to hard strength, if you hit the opponent during this dash, during the teleport dash. Okay, so basically you have to press hard punch, hard kick at the same time, you'll dash forward, and then the normals you use, you can now chain into them. Okay, finally, if you press hard punch and hard kick again during the teleport dash, or during a combo from the teleport dash, Zeku will do a finisher attack, and that knocks the opponent down. So for example, when you have the V trigger activated, Zeku can activate his V trigger, press it again to teleport, and if you press it again as you're teleporting, he'll do this finisher attack straight up. Okay, or you can do the teleport by pressing hard punch and hard kick, start doing your chain, and then at the end of your chain you press hard punch, hard kick at the same time, and then you'll do your finisher attack, as we see in this trailer. We can also assume that teleport dash consumes V gauge. I mean, why wouldn't it? Because otherwise you'd be spamming it. And also the finisher would probably consume V gauge and do a lot of damage. The chains might even too. So what we see in this footage, once again, is Zeku activating the V trigger, and then he presses hard punch and hard kick to begin the teleport dash. And then he starts the chain from the teleport dash and goes light punch, light kick, medium kick, hard kick, and then he ends it by pressing hard punch and hard kick at the same time. So I hope I explained this well, guys. It sounds confusing when I'm reading my script here, but let me know if you're still confused. By the time you see the WSL footage, I'll probably explain it better. Alright, let's talk about the final part of old Zeku in this trailer, the last segment. So he starts off with a crouching hard punch crush counter, knocks the opponent up, juggles into a core circle back kick, and then he juggles into his V skill. So, start off, crouching hard punch, obviously a crush counter, and this is a pop-up type crush counter where it knocks your opponent high in the air for a juggle. And then he juggles obviously into a harder strength of the core circle back kick because of the longer startup and more range, so probably medium kick or hard kick version. And then he juggles again into his V skill. So let me explain this now. As we know, Zeku can transform into two forms, his younger self or his old self, that pretty much changes the character. His entire moveset and normals are all different. So there are two main ways that Zeku can transform into one or the other. The first way is by pressing down two punches at the same time. Just down two punches, and then he'll simply puff and transform on the spot where he's standing. Okay? Young Zeku can also switch back to old, so he can go back and forth during the match. The second main way that he can transform is by using his V skill. The difference is that his V skill is an actual attack, where he hits the opponent and then transforms and attacks him. Okay, so there seems to be multiple types of V skill attacks as well, and in this case we see him punch upwards with his V skill, and then we see another screenshot on one of the Japanese websites showing him attacking straight and transforming. Okay, but in this trailer we only see him punch upwards, so we know there's at least two versions of his V skill, either by pressing down V skill or forward V skill and so on. We also know that he can change his position after transforming by holding a direction after landing your V skill. So two-parter to that. Now, the reason I know this is him comboing into his V skill is because the combo starts with a crouching hard punch crush counter. So that move where he attacks upwards can't be his crouching hard punch. We already see it at the beginning of the combo with the crush counter. And we already know, looking at the footage back, that we see Zeku's standing hard punch where he attacks straight. Okay, so we know that the beginning of this combo is not a standing hard punch either, just in case I'm wrong on that. So it definitely has to be his V skill that he's using. So looking at this V skill, we know that Zeku has the option to combo his transformation and maybe even use this punch as an anti-air, which would be cool. And obviously this would gain him V gauge as well, and by the time we see the WS footage today, I'll see if I'm wrong or right about this being his V skill. So that's pretty much all the information I have, guys, on old Zeku from this trailer. Like I said, we're going to get a lot more footage today, a lot more information, and we'll go over young Zeku next. And I'll go over his part in the trailer with the added footage, and then anything we have left over from there, I'll keep you guys updated until its release. And I'll try to keep this as concise as possible, guys, but it's really hard since this character has so many moves to talk about. But I'll make sure you guys don't miss out on anything, and I'll try to release these videos as fast as I can. So let me know what you guys think about this so far. Don't forget to like the video, please, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll do my best to keep you guys updated as much as I can. So till then, guys, take care.